Hello, this is Dr. Jeanette Raymond, psychologist, psychotherapist, and relationship expert, here with part 5 of my series on how we use our emotional defenses, how they develop from infancy, and how we progress with them. In the first two, I talked to you about little Shelly and how um, she had to defend against being engulfed by her mother before being cast aside when the new baby came along. And then I talked to you about Liam and how his mother set him up to have a competitive, envious relationship with his dad to fight for her. And he had to disown his feminine side and be macho in order to feel like he could be a man out in the world and he wasn't going to be a mama's boy. So today I'm going to fast forward into early adulthood. So Shelley and Liam are 18 and 20 years old, respectively. Shelley's actually 2 years older than Liam, so she's 20 and he's 18. And she's in college, about to graduate in a year or two, and she meets Liam at a party, and they're immediately attracted to one another, and they kind of stick together. For some reason, they feel like they're a very good fit, and they decide that they want to um, make a life together, and that Liam, who was very smart and he liked to develop his own startup businesses, and he was like able to make money very quickly and uh, could buy a house right away. All the macho things that he wanted to be is what Shelley loved about him. Finally, she was getting all the attention. She was the special one. She was being honored. She was being put on a pedestal. He would do anything for her because she had rescued him from being mama's boy. Now he could be dad. He could be the man. He could be the breadwinner, the powerful one. He uh, got rid of all the other men in Shelley's life. She chose him and he chose her. So for Shelley, being chosen by this wonderful man who's willing to do anything for her, had no eyes for anyone else, it was fitted her to a T. It was wonderful. And she relaxed and enjoyed it. And for Liam, the fact that she enjoyed his macho side and didn't want him to depend on her, that she was willing to depend on him, made him feel good, that he no longer needed to feel the problem of how do I get rid of my hate, and he didn't have anyone to envy, and he didn't have anyone to hate, and he didn't have anyone to vanquish. And Shelley on her side didn't need to compete with her younger sister for her mother's attention. Remember I told you she developed this false self where she put a shield around herself and she was just a very good girl, being super helpful to mom so that she could get a bit of mom's attention and feel loved. And remember I told you how Liam, when he was used by mom as the kind of man in her life, he thought he was omnipotent, he could do whatever he liked, there was magical thinking. Well, when Shelley and Liam get together, in the beginning they fit like two peas in a pod, but very quickly it starts to unravel. Because what happens is Shelley wants to keep this moment in time frozen. She doesn't want to ever find that she's not the top of Liam's list, that he's only got eyes for her, that his work is not going to get in the way, that he's not going to be distracted basically by anything else, that she's going to be his shiny object forever, and that she doesn't need to work for it because she's the chosen one, right? He chose her. And so when he started to grow and he wanted to move around and have more businesses, he had more friendships, he had more contact in the world outside, it felt very threatening to Shelley. And she would be trying to pull him in and make him more attentive to her and set him up for tests and so on, to make sure that his eyes were only on her. Because remember, her parents never told her about her little sister, and it came as a surprise. So she was going to make sure that this time around it wasn't going to happen again. She'd found the person who was never going to do the dirty on her like that. And Liam found someone who allowed him to be himself, to go out in the world and be a big man and bring good money home and be macho and be protective and take care of everything, make all the decisions, make all the choices. He loved it, and he didn't have to pay any price until such time as he started to feel suffocated by Shelley. And that's when he began to feel that the macho-ness that so attracted Shelley was now coming back to bite him. That he couldn't be soft and gentle and find someone to like that part of him. That he had to, the part that he disowned, which he now wanted to re-own, that was not attractive to Shelley. So what does he do with it? He had to find other ways of manifesting it. So he found friends that he could go out with, and do artistic things and creative things and display more of his feminine side, because it was not wanted by Shelley. She just wanted the macho side. You chose me, you've got to be here, you've got to be by my side. Whenever we go out, you've got to be my partner, you've got to have eyes only for me, you've got to stick by my side, you've got to do everything with me and only me. So the suffocation prompted Liam to want to find other parts about himself. And so he started to have very painful feelings, very conflictual feelings, very unmanageable feelings of love and hate for Shelley, because his mother entrapped him when he was little, and now Shelley was entrapping him again. That's how it felt. And so he had to learn to manage them. So what kind of defenses can he use? Well, one of them was repression. So he repressed these feelings so he didn't feel them, and he just tried to be, doing his work and having little fun times with people on the side. But he didn't tell Shelley about them, and she would find out from friends that he went to this game or did this, or he was, look at his social media and stuff like that. And so she became the wagging finger mom, not the lovey-dovey mom that adored him and worshipped him because he was everything she ever wanted. So she became the mom that he didn't want, the angry, monitoring mom who made him feel bad about himself, who made him feel ashamed, who made him feel like he wasn't lovable anymore. And what was happening on Shelley's side, she became terrified that all the things she'd learned to try to avoid growing up, like being a good girl, trying to become special, trying to earn her way into somebody's life, because she was who she was, she should be special, the sense of entitlement. So she tried to force Liam to stay in this bubble and not to live, to keep their world frozen in time so that she could have what she always wanted and there was no threat of loss. So it's kind of another huge disavowal of reality. So her mechanism of defense was denial, complete and utter denial. And of course, Liam wasn't living in this bubble. He was living in the real world. So her defense of denial made him counter with his defenses of using repression and again externalizing, making everything about someone else and not him. so he didn't feel it was personal. But the other thing he did was he used what we call a kind of manic defense. So he's so afraid that he's going to be cast forever and frozen in this bubble and caged and imprisoned in Shelley's world that he would lose himself, he would be annihilated. So again, he's got to defend himself. And the way that he does it is by trying to find a sense of triumph. So it became a battle. So remember, he felt that battle with his dad when he was little, the envy and the hatred and the disgust and the feeling of being vanquished. Well, he brought it all up again. And what he tried to do was deny the fact that he had chosen Shelley because she was no longer the woman that he wanted, so that was what he did. And he needed to try to manage all these conflicts that started up inside him again by going outside and dealing with the outside world. He found friends, he found lovers, he found one night stands, he found millions of businesses he got involved with, like anything to take him away from the sense of imprisonment. And he felt powerful. Look, I just did a business. I closed this deal. I closed that deal. I made a new contact there. I did all these things. Like I'm juggling them all, and look what I'm doing, and like making himself feel like he was invaluable, he was such an asset, and he had won because now she needed him even more to bring all the goodies home. And the more that he went out and the more that he interacted with the world outside, repressed his feelings, and felt this power and of being a big player in the world and all his macho stuff, like he wasn't going to take it away from her. He wasn't going to make she wasn't going to make him feel small. The more that he did that, the more that Shelley used her sense of manic defense, which is different, which is to deny the reality that she cannot keep Liam and herself in a state of frozen animation, and that the only defense she has is to deny the reality that they're both growing and they've outgrown their early, infatuation with each other, and that time has to march on, life has to go on, they have to evolve. So what does she try to do? She uses denial and manic defense. She uses control. So she tries to control him. She monitors his social media. She monitors his phone. She monitors his bank account. She monitors his where he's going, everything, and then tries to hold him to account and accuses him of betraying. So again, all her fear of not being good enough, of being pushed aside for some shinier objects out there, she projects them into him, like he's the bad guy. He's doing all these bad things. She's the little angel who's entitled to be special and loved because she's so good. She doesn't cheat. She's a home bird. She does everything for him. She only wants him. Why doesn't he want to be frozen in the bubble with her? So they're both using manic defenses of denial to try to manage, one, the need for separation in terms of Liam, and the absolute denial of individuation and separation by Shelley. She wants the merger, she wants the togetherness. So she has to monitor him, make him feel small, make herself the bad mom in order to control him. And this is how they start the next phase of their adult relationship, which is very contentious, uncomfortable, full of denial, and an absolute refusal on both their parts to face reality. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be coming up with the next one as they return to the next phase in their relationship, And then you can kind of make some predictions about whether they're going to manage to be flexible and stay together and have some more healthy defenses, or are they going to crack under the weight of these unbearable feelings, which these defenses cannot protect them from? So, see you next time.